Hey, Luminary, it's Leslie Tagorda here with your May Business StarCast. And this is the month you're going to be asked to expand and cultivate your capacity for inner peace to face your fears. Welcome to Star Powered Astrology for Changemakers. I'm Leslie Tagorda, your guide, a Hawaii-born Filipino Jewish astrologer who loves navigating visionaries like you through the spiritual journey of your work so that you can be inspired to lead by your chart and become the luminary leader you were born to be. Hello, Luminary. Welcome to May. Can you believe it's already May? Oh my goodness, May is such a giant month in the cosmos. I know. When hasn't it been a giant month in the cosmos? But this is the month where things are going to get really fixity. We have a lot of energies going on in fixed signs. So Aquarius with Pluto still there, Taurus with all of those energies, and then Mars holding down in Leo this month. And I want to tell you all about the overview of May. But before we get into that, let me just add a couple of notes into your little ear to plant some seeds. We are still in eclipse season. We are still in Mercury retrograde season. And you know what? We get to have these transits because these transits are ultimately putting us on our highest path. So no matter what, I'm always going to remind you to have that faith and stay on that high, the high energies to really allow us to ride that wave. And there's so many waves that have been coming up energetically in Star Powered here. So I want to share all of these things with you. So first of all, Jeff and I are putting the finishing touches on our retreat page. I mentioned if you follow me on Facebook, and I haven't been spending too much time on social media lately. It's just been such a drain for me because there's just been so many things to create. The last place I wanted to be is on social media right now. But a couple of weeks ago, I put a post that I had finally reserved the rooms at this luxury retreat space in Calistoga, California for October. So we are in eclipse season right now, right in between our solar eclipse, our new moon eclipse, and then coming up in May, the second of the eclipse season, our full moon lunar eclipse. And so we get these eclipse seasons every 6 months. And so the next eclipse season we'll have is in October for our Scorpio New Moon solar eclipse, and I'm hosting a retreat. So the retreat is going to be in Calistoga, California. Calistoga is about an hour and a half outside of San Francisco. So you fly into SFO, and this is going to be from October 12th through the 15th. 3 nights of luxury accommodations at my most favorite spa on earth. It's like my little slice of heaven. I can't wait to share it with you. So if you're interested in spending 3 nights with me in Calistoga, celebrating the eclipse, we'll be doing a hike on the morning of the eclipse to go see the eclipse. We'll be able to see it from Calistoga. We'll be having daily astrology workshops. I'll be inviting my friend Monica Bravo, who is going to be hosting yoga and hypnotherapy sessions for us. And we are going to have so much fun retreating, relaxing, restoring, and jumping into the best versions of ourselves this eclipse season. So if you're interested in getting on the wait list for when we have all of the details put up on a fancy schmancy website, then head on over to starpowered.com/eclipse and get on the wait list for our retreat. Now, not only is this retreat coming up that I'm planning and putting everything together, but Astrobrand certification is starting up in August. Well, Astrobrand, the coursework has already started. If you are in Star Powered Circle, know that Star Powered Position, Star Powered Voice that's coming up are all part of the curriculum for the Astrobrand certification. And in August, I'll be starting off with the mentorship. So this is one-on-one time with me. This is group mentorship. This is ethics and empowerment. This is all of the things that go into harnessing and leveraging the power and the wisdom of the stars in people's personal brands. So if you are a copywriter, if you're a brand designer, if you are um, a consultant or a coach that works with people and their businesses so that they can create the most rhythmic and aligned businesses according to their star powers, then the Astrobrand certification is for you. So if you're interested in that, head on over to starpower.com/certification to get registered for that waitlist because I will be announcing that really soon. All right, let's get into the overview of May because we have a lot of things going on in May. I'm calling May 2023 Expand Your Peace. And kind of the energy, that vibe of May is fixed, unchanging, steady, sustainable, conscious choosing of gratitude, and facing your fears. Oof. Oh my goodness. We just have so many things going on this month, right? In May, we have Pluto retrograde. And, by the time you are listening to this, Pluto and those outer planets, Pluto, I think Uranus and Neptune, they never get out of their shadow zone. Those outer planets really are 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards, 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. Or in Pluto's case, right now, he's like 3 degrees forward, 2 degrees back, 3 degrees forward, 2 degrees back. And so they just kind of crisscross back and forth over the same parts of the sky as they overarching move forward. And so as you're already listening to this, Pluto has already stopped and stationed at that 0 degree and 22-minute mark of Aquarius before it officially shifts into retrograde to then move backwards, still being stuck at that Aquarius of 0 degrees and 22 minutes for what seems like an eternity. It's going to feel like it's going to be on that 0 degree mark for so long, but throughout its entire retrograde process for this year, it's going to head all the way back to Capricorn of 27 degrees. Now, we also have Venus entering Cancer. We're going to finally end this Mercury retrograde, our first Mercury retrograde, full Mercury retrograde of 2023. We are then going to have Jupiter entering Taurus. Oh my goodness, I'm really looking forward to Jupiter landing into this earthy, peaceful, cozy, spacious place of Taurus mid-month. Then we'll have Mars entering Leo at the near the end of the month, Sun entering Gemini. And lastly, we close out the month with Jupiter and the North Node meeting up. Of course, we have our full moon eclipse as well as our new moon eclipse. So let me give you the overview of all of those different major shifts and events of this month. So I know you've been wanting the intensity of the cosmos to like just chillax a little bit. But unfortunately, May 2023 is not your month. It doesn't mean that things are going to blow up in your face. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is this is your public service announcement to consciously choose gratitude and befriend your fears, to cultivate the inner peace that will create the feelings of security and abundance you so desire. Remember, abundance, security, these are states of being, feelings that you cultivate within yourself, not outward markers, not how much money is in the bank, not what kind of car you drive, although money in the bank does make things a lot easier. So, one of the inspiring quotes that I just absolutely love that has been also taking me through these times, because I'm going through all of these ups and downs as well as with all of my clients and you, is to remember Michelle Obama's famous call to action that she first said in 2016 while she was promoting Hillary Clinton for president. And she reminded us that in the darkest of times, when society and the world and people just seem to be coming at us, when they go low, we go high. And so I want you to put these words into your heart because this is your call. This is your call to keep your faith, to keep your spirit, to keep your belief and your trust in yourself, to keep your belief and trust in others, and to remain high in this gratitude and faith, to be grateful for everything that you have. Because we start off May with a bang. Both Pluto shift gears into reverse on the same day that Mercury, already in reverse, meets up with the sun at that midpoint of that retrograde. Remember, when Mercury meets up with the sun, because it can't get across the sun from the sky from our perspective here on Earth, it's like the full moon phase of a Mercury retrograde. So you know that full moons are these usually intense times. So of course, now this is an intense time with Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Remember, we've been talking about Mercury retrograde, about rethinking and reshifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance. And so midpoint of this Mercury retrograde, also called a cazimi or a combust, can be almost like a, we think of Mercury retrograde and we think of like tech glitches and things that can happen, but these glitches are in your mindset around scarcity. Okay. And because Pluto is so intense already, if you are scared, if you're operating from a place of scarcity, then Pluto just is going to amp up on that intensity as it drills down on this 0 degree mark in 22 minutes of Aquarius. Okay, both in these fixed signs, Pluto and Taurus. And so being fixed is sometimes really hard to shift and change. But it can be easy to shift and change when you know this is coming from within. This is something that you want, not from without. There's no one that can control all of those fixed signs: Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo. That change, that control has to come from within. So we want to keep an eye out on Pluto this month. Pluto is going to be a big player simply because this little yet mighty planet is again at that standstill at that beginning of fixed air Aquarius all month. So, as Jupiter enters Taurus on May 17th, as Mars enters Leo on May 20th, and as the Sun enters Gemini on May 21st, all of those planets, because Jupiter and Mars are fixed, they're going to be creating squares and oppositions to Pluto. And then Sun entering Gemini, an air sign like an Aquarius, is going to have a trine, so a power of understanding. But let's talk a little bit more about how, first, as all of these planets, Jupiter, Mars, and Sun, change signs, they all have to pay their respects to mighty Pluto. Now, Pluto doesn't have to be the malefic, bringing gloom and doom and fear, but know that Pluto will intensify and empower. So, to work consciously this month is to intentionally face Pluto instead of running away and hiding from his power. Now, the cosmos has your back for this, right? I've been talking about this Aries eclipse that we had a couple of weeks ago, and this Mercury retrograde that we have right now, in terms of like facing our unknown, increasing our capacity to receive, talking about just remaining in this like just high in our beliefs and our faith, because we have our second eclipse of this eclipse season in the beginning of May, our Scorpio lunar eclipse, giving you the greatest colonics to release the constipation of emotional baggage that keeps you from your beautiful truth. Yes, yes, yes. I'm really sorry. There are going to be some potty talk. There's a lot of poops going on here, just because the nature of that Scorpio eclipse, to eliminate, to detoxify. Now, you know how wonderful you feel after you've been constipated for a while and you finally get to that toilet. I know, I'm sorry. But I'll be releasing a couple of podcasts really in succession over the next week. We have Annalyn Cruz. I have a conversation with her, how she went from stuck to unstoppable when we consciously worked with her Pluto opposition that's happening on her Cancerian at 29 degrees sun. And so that episode is dropping right after this one. And then I'll be dropping another eclipse episode. And so between these three episodes, you're really going to dig in to be able to really understand how the step by step, how to face your fears using your astrology, using your own wisdom, harnessing grief. It is so powerful. I've walked my clients through these steps over and over and over in the last few months. I feel like I have this process really, really dialed in for all of us right now. Now, we have this eclipse, and then a couple of weeks later, we're going to have our new moon in Taurus, right? And this is when you'll be able to call in your beautiful truth and bring in more. Now, we can't keep on bringing things in until we let things go, right? Especially right now in spring cleaning, you probably naturally feel this urge to like declutter your closets, get rid of all of the gunk and all of the clutter, thanks to Mercury retrograde in Taurus, but is this spaciousness that we create energetically and physically that will allow us to bring in our beautiful truth. Again, thanks to the eclipse. Again, thanks to Mercury retrograde. And again, thanks to the intensity of Pluto. Okay, we get to have these energies. We need these energies so that we can move into our highest path. And then right around that new moon in Taurus, Jupiter will also be moving into Taurus for the next year, showing us that steady and sustainable is always the way. And so I can't wait to talk to you about Jupiter and Taurus. That's going to be an entire episode on its own as well. Now, I understand this might be sounding vast and idealistic, and you're like, Leslie, just give me the pragmatic. But you know what? This belief, this idealistic, this gratitude, this optimism, this is part of your beautiful truth. And the cosmos has been working for you to reveal all the ways, fears, and scarcity that come in the form of greed, control, othering, not enoughness keeps a strong hold on you individually. And then when we are all being kept captive to this scarcity, it keeps us collectively from attaining our highest, most prosperous selves. Why do you think we're fed with ads that continuously tell us that we are not enough, that we need to buy this one thing, purchase this one offer, do all of these things just so that we can simply be? Now, this new moon that's coming up in Taurus isn't all hunky dory, even though it's in Taurus, even though we have this giant Taurus stellium, because it is building a fixity T square in the sky with all these fixed signs. So Jupiter will be in Taurus at 0 degrees. Pluto will be in Aquarius at 0 degrees, and Mars will be entering Leo at 0 degrees. So you can imagine Pluto and Mars in Aquarius and Leo sitting opposite of each other, creating opposition. And then Jupiter in Taurus squaring off. So it looks like a right angle triangle. That's what's called a T square, like a half of a square. And these T squares can be, if we're not working with them, again, intentionally, we're trying to reframe this, right? If we don't work with them, if we are resisting the urge to change and controlling every aspect and every detail and just wanting to fight, say no, 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 then of course, this T square is going to be so heavy. But when, even though this is fixity, when we can remain grounded in ourselves and our own values, but still be able to shift from this inner place of desiring to shift, Our plans can be more flexible, where they are now more guidelines and not rigid rules. And that won't make it feel so rigid and so brittle. So your beliefs and your values are what needs to remain constant and steady and grounded as guidelines, so that they can have more flexibility and less dogmatic. This is a month where your beliefs and purpose will be challenged. But the only person that you need to prove is yourself. Take this challenge to expand your beliefs, expand your best plans, your long sustainable plans, your intentions, and your purpose for long-term peace and sustainability. The belief you will have in yourself to evolve creates growth along your highest potential. And with the meetup of Jupiter and the North Node on the 31st of May at the very end of the month, this is going to give us the expansive hope you need, showing you that the more that you can be grateful, share, and offer from a place of deep trust, that there is more than enough for all of us individually, so you can spark that peace and invitation within yourself, that together, when more and more of us believe in this beautiful truth, we can move mountains in the collective and begin to make a dent in dissolving the fear that controls us and the world. So I'm going to repeat again with the dates, all of the different cosmic shifts in May. So we have Pluto retrograde beginning on May 1st. Venus enters sensitive Cancer on May 7th. Mercury retrograde ends in Taurus on May 10th. Jupiter enters Taurus on May 16th. Mars enters Leo on May 20th, and the Sun enters Gemini on May 21st. We have our full moon eclipse in Scorpio on May 5th, and our new moon in Taurus on May 19th. So there we are. And I have a little bit of a medicine treat for you, a little bit of a remedy. There's this beautiful 4-part series called Oni. ONI, playing on Netflix right now. It's on the children's section because it's like a 4-part animated miniseries, yet the emotional storyline of this might be a little bit intense for a lot of young kids. And so I was wondering why I was in the kids section. We did watch it with my son, and we had a lot of talking opportunities. But to me, this is the perfect medicine for us in May, because the Oni are mythical demons in Japanese culture, but historians and anthropologists are now seeing that the word Oni has been used in myth to describe othering, people who are different. And so the reflection on Oni is, what and who are we really afraid of? So if you catch Oni on Netflix, let me know. It is so beautiful. George Takei is one of the voices. I just absolutely love it and hope you love it as much as me. All right, let me know how May serves you and what you are most looking forward to. I know I am very excited by all of these shifts. All right, talk to you soon. As a human design projector, my energy shines more brightly because of people like you who share my work. If you enjoy this podcast and want to help build a movement of innovative astrology and leadership and spark the intuitive revolution, please rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, or better yet, share this podcast with your change-making besties. We will all shine brighter together as we create